Welcome back. You're watching Nation Tonight. The Indian Navy is all set to commission a new military base in Lakshadweep. Now, INS Jatayu will be commissioned in Minicoy Island a few days from now for better coverage of the Indian Ocean. Experts and observers are seeing this as India's strategic move to strengthen our position in the Indian Ocean region. The intention would be to expand our operational reach and surveillance capabilities in the region. Now, as per reports, INS Jatayu will mirror INS Baz in the Andaman Islands and will have advanced facilities and capabilities. The Indian Ocean region, remember, accounts for a lot of the trade that goes on in India, the transportation of the highest tonnage of goods in the world, with almost 1 lakh ships transiting the region. On its waters are carried 2/3 of the world's oil shipments, 1/3 of bulk cargo traffic, and half the world's container shipments. But it isn't just about trade. India's concerns lie in national security and a stronger presence in the region. Let's understand why India is now focusing on Lakshadweep strategically. On the broadcast, I'm joined by Captain Shyam Kumar, former Warship captain and pilot instructor, and we're also joined by Colonel Dinny, he's a defense expert. Good evening and welcome to both of you. I'd like to start with you, Captain Kumar. Help us understand what India is really exactly planning to do in Lakshadweep with INS Jatayu.
Minicoy is strategically located as part of the Lakshadweep Island. So, Shreya, it is very, very important that India's concern over Indian Oceanic region is demonstrated through a good vigil in the Indian Ocean. And Jatayu depicts the air surveillance ability of that eagle of Ramayana days, and also the friendship that he maintained with Raja Dashrath. So with this base coming up in the strategic island of Minicoy, which is interestingly very, very close to Maldives, just 130 kilometers away from the nearest island of Maldives, and sitting over the 9-degree and 10-degree, 8-degree channels, which is flowing 40% of world trades from Suez Canal or Gulf to the Malacca and to Pacific. Therefore, India is concerned about the Indian Ocean through the reach of islands and making a outreach over the oceans is well understood. And it was a long overdue plan to develop Minicoy Island. I remember when I was there in aviation and talking about the plans for a hello base at Minicoy, and also have some nostalgic memories of this island where I've spent some time and also commanded a warship patrolling this area for a very long time. So this had to happen. And with the Maldives presently having a different turn towards China, and we are looking at more kind of more strategy over the Indian Ocean, I think this is the right time for commissioning of a base called INS Jatayu at Minicoy, which will have the initial setup of few officers, but slowly it's going to develop into a big, full-fledged naval base, and it is going to overlook the requirements and maritime interests of India in the Indian Oceanic region.
Yeah.
Over to you, Shreya.
Captain Kumar said something very important. The fact that we've been thinking about developing and strengthening our bases in the Minicoy Island because it's strategically located and therefore has more significance. But why this renewed focus now? What is making us see Lakshadweep as a strategic point for our national security? Is it just the China factor, or is there more to it?
Ma'am, as I understand... Is it to me?
I agree to you.
Yes, Colonel Dinny, please go ahead.
The move has been long.
Captain Kumar, I'll come to you. This is for Colonel Dinny.
Okay. Right.
Ma'am, definitely there is much beyond just to show our presence in the Indonesian region, because till now, like what we know, that Andamans was the unsinkable and permanent aircraft carrier which we used to call. It was there, and there was domination of the Malacca Straits and the movement of Chinese vessels and other maritime naval vessels also from that particular place, that is the Andamans. But of late, we see that there is a shift of a lot of focus being given by the Chinese towards India's western seaboard, rather to say that their presence is there in Maldives, and also we know the association between Pakistan and China, the naval associations, and also the kind of crisis which we have seen after the Israel Hamas war which is happening. So definitely there is a sense of urgency now that this particular area has now developed into the new conflict zone. And since like what you showed, the kind of trade which comes there, I believe in 9-degree channel, every in a minute there are 12 ships which is passing through that place. So that kind of volume of ship is moving. So it's both strategically looking towards India's western side, and also for the for to maintain India's trade and also the global trade moving from that particular place in a peaceful manner. So it's a combination of both, and that is why this shift has taken, not I will not call it shift, but I think rightful identification of Lakshadweep as a strategic asset. Till now there was a problem. What actually did not give us the freedom was this constant battle between environmental conservation and what will the local people say. I think now a
Yeah.
balance has been struck that the strategic interest has to be taken care of. At the same time, the environmental conservation and other issues can also be taken care of. So the both are going hand in hand. I think that is why this push now comes to it, in which, as Captain Shyam Kumar sir mentioned, that the latest assets, both naval and air force assets, will be there in Lakshadweep, and that actually means that India will be able to dominate right up till the African coast. Take the case of of Sukhoi 30s landing there, or Rafales landing there, or the P8 the surveillance aircraft
Yeah.
landing there. The entire scope of India's domination in the Indian Ocean region increases dramatically. And one more thing which I wanted to say, that the very fact that the way this thing has been inaugurated, that also sends a message. Two aircraft carriers coming together, and there
Yes.
are almost 15 to odd warships coming. It clearly sends a message to both China and Pakistan that Indian Ocean region is India's strategic backyard, and there is no scope for anybody to come and make their presence felt, or try to dominate there. So I think India means business here. That is the another message which I think this entire thing,
Right.
what India is doing right now, is giving to the
Yeah,
world.
and also the fact, Captain Kumar, the fact that Lakshadweep as the cluster of islands provides a tactical advantage to India if a conflict situation arises. If the need arises, Lakshadweep can be therefore used as this unsinkable aircraft carrier as well, which is away from the coastline of India, isn't it?
Yes, Shreya, it is important to understand the offshore assets and islands are basically strategic. It increases the strategic reach of a country and also the exclusive economic zone. So we have Agati Island, which is there in northern part of the Lakshadweep, and Minicoy. Actually, to be very frank, the plan to develop this happened from 2015. Even there was a parliamentary question to develop a airport long back, and I wrote on file certain things to develop a helibase first. Even Coast Guard, Navy, everybody was looking at it. But maintaining a air base at a distant location like Lakshadweep Island or Port Blair for that matter is very difficult, because the entire logistic support still we have to go from the mainland. So I have traveled here a lot. I have been in this area a lot. I have traveled in each and every island, and it's very difficult to maintain. So it is now slowly, when Andaman was 20 years back, strategic command, when you have an Andaman Nicobar command coming up. Similarly, on the east side, we had to develop something, and it was slowly and steadily progressing. It is a matter of fact that when China has suddenly come up to Maldives now, earlier also 6 years back, 7 years back, and many things have happened, whether it is Dio Garcia base of the USA in the Indian Ocean, or the Agalega Island, which has been developed with the help of India at Mauritius, Djibouti, which is Chinese base, and we are also taking a help of Japanese to have our rest and recreation and the fueling facilities for our ships, aircrafts, etc. We need to develop our reach in the Indian Ocean for carrying out as surveillance. and keeping sea lanes of communication
Yeah, and
very,
not
very
just
safe.
national security. I
Also
think
creating
that,
a
of course, is
confidence.
one big reasons why we need to focus on Lakshadweep. But the fact that India's economic growth also largely depends on the Indian Ocean region, considering the fact, the kind of volume of trade that goes on through that region, we need to strengthen our presence. And therefore, if we want our economy to grow, we need to have a peaceful, prosperous Indian Ocean region. And that's what India has been trying to do. Colonel Dinny, last question to you. Just, how do you see this moving forward now? Do you see India, strengthening its position in the IOR by using Lakshadweep? Or do we still face major challenges there in the region?
Ma'am, I think we will now find ourselves strengthening ourselves in this Indonesian region. I think this was a demand, at least by our strategic allies. Like, for example, US wanted India to make India's presence even more, in a more announced manner, or rather, I would say, in a more manner in which the whole world can see that India is there. So I think in some point of time, we were a little bit hesitant to showcase our power, at least in the Indonesian region, to the full potential of the Indian Navy and in Indian Air Force. But today, after the Lakshadweep strategic, this concept has come now, I think it will go forward and India will identify its total potential, the strategic potential in this region, because geographically we are blessed. Now we are developing the capability to dominate that area. And with the strategic vision which we have now, I think in the coming days, India will dominate the Indonesian region and truly be the next security provider in this region.
All right. We hope that happens. With that, I'm going to wrap this up. Colonel Dinny and Captain Kumar, thank you very much to both you gentlemen for joining us on Nation Tonight and helping us understand the significance of Lakshadweep and India's focus on it. Thank you very much.